Hello, my friends. So occasionally I go onto YouTube and I do a search on Wicca and see what people are saying out there on Wicca. Here is one of those videos called Exposing Satan's Power, Wicca.
I have studied the occult for more than 50 years.
Are you Orville Redenbacher? You look a lot like Orville Redenbacher. But anyhow, okay, so you have been studying the occult for 50 years. That is a long time to be studying the occult.
But out of curiosity, because of the similarities of what I was in spiritualism, I decided to study Wicca.
The similarities between spiritualism and Wicca. Okay, well, let's see what you have to say.
I've just finished about 100 hours of study of the Wiccan religion.
About 100 hours of study of Wicca, okay? So 100 hours, that's about 2 to 3 weeks of study. That's for about 8 hours a day. Let's say you studied Wicca for about 4 to 5 hours per day. That means you have been studying Wicca for about 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks of study in any subject does not make one an expert.
And here are my findings, and I might add that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg? Yeah, that's putting it mildly. You have about 3 weeks into a tip of the iceberg. Wicca has been around for at least 75 years.
She is sky-clad. Now, if you're a Wiccan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She is naked. That's how the high priest's hands are raised to worship.
What? I'm sorry, Orville Redenbacher. I really didn't understand what you just said.
That's how the high priest's hands are raised to worship.
Sounds like you were saying that's how the high priest's hands are raised in worship. I don't exactly understand what this means and what this has to do with the comment you just made.
She's praying to a god or a goddess or both. Wiccans worship millions of gods.
The high priest's hands are raised in worship to the god and the god or the goddess or both. I thought you were an expert. I thought you've been studying the occult for 50 years and Wicca for 3 weeks. Don't you have an answer to this question?
It reminded me of my mission trip to India.
Your mission trip to India. So you went to India on a mission to do mission work to convert the Hindu people to Christianity.
Where the Hindus do the same thing, worship millions of gods. Now, Wiccans are not Satanists.
Okay, the name of this video is Exposing Satan's Power, Wicca. And now you're claiming that Wiccans do not believe in Satan. Okay, Orville, you gotta make up your mind here.
They don't cast spells to harm people. They're very gentle people.
That is kind of you.
They love nature to the extent that they worship nature.
3 weeks of study, huh? There are many Wiccans who I am sure do worship nature as divinity or revere it with a certain amount of respect. I don't know if I could safely say that all Wiccans do. And I also believe that it comes down to that we have a certain reverence for nature. We understand that we are a part of nature, and we are highly, highly dependent upon nature for our own survival.
Wiccans don't believe the Bible.
Yes, your insight is most amazing. We do not believe in the Bible.
But they believe in reincarnation.
What does this have to do with exposing Satan's power? Yes, I believe that many Wiccans probably do believe in reincarnation, but I cannot say that every single Wiccan in the entire world believes in reincarnation. There may be several different theories about what happens after we die.
Wiccans don't believe in hell, but Wiccans believe that all religions are equal and that all spiritual paths lead to God.
No, not necessarily lead to God. There are many religions and different beliefs in the world, and yes, we have a respect for those religions. And there is some validity to saying that all religious paths are true. They are true for each individual that follows that particular religious belief. The only time that we really get into any kind of problems with religion is when, like I'm doing right now, when a religion attacks us and judges us or tries to convert us. Basically, we really don't care if you have a belief or you don't have a belief. As long as you leave us alone and don't harm anybody, we really don't care.
Wiccans believe in animism. That is, that everything has a soul or a spirit or a rock or a tree or a desert, wind, rain. They believe everything has a spirit.
Okay, so you must have learned this about in your third week of study. Yes, many Wiccans would consider themselves animists because they see divinity in nature, they see divinity in the earth, they see divinity in other people and animals and other things around them. But I don't believe that they actually think that that is God. But they do see a divinity within most things.
Wiccans violate the first two commandments of God. They worship the creation rather than the creator.
Wiccans violate your first two commandments. According to your definition, so does every other non-Christian religion in the entire world. That is 2/3 of the world's people.
Wiccans are correct when they call themselves pagans. The word pagan has many meanings, but basically a pagan is one who is anti-Christ.
No. Where did you get this definition of pagan from? Pagan is the term that Christians gave all non-Judeo-Christian people. It means an adherent of a polytheistic religion in antiquity, especially when viewed in contrast to an adherent of a monotheistic religion. A neo-pagan, one who has no religion, an adherent of a religion other than Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, a hedonist. Pagan does not mean anti-Christ.
You see, the word worship means to give honor and credence to. But who are they giving honor and credence to?
You studied the occult for 50 years and Wicca for 3 weeks, and you don't have an answer to this question?
Where do they get their information from?
Okay, Orville Redenbacher, where does anyone get any information on Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or any other religion? They seek out other people who are of that religion, or they buy books on it, or they do research on it and historical reference to it. They get the same information that you do on any religion that you are studying.
I discovered that most of them get their information from two men, Alexander's or Gerald Gardner.
There are branches of Wicca who study Gerald Gardner and Alexander's. But these are two branches of Wicca. And if you would have studied Wicca for a little longer, you would understand that the term Wicca, under this umbrella term, there are many different traditions of Wicca.
Gerald Gardner writes his own story. In fact, he wrote a book, High Magic Aid, and it was common knowledge that much of Gardner's story is absolute fiction.
Orville Redenbacher, that's because it was a work of fiction. It was written by Gerald Gardner as fiction. It says on the very back of the book, it says, set in medieval times and told as an exciting adventure story in the manner of the Lord of the Rings, High Magic's Aid takes the reader on a quest to uncover the ancient, lost, and forbidden secrets of magic and witchcraft. High Magic's Aid was written by Gerald Gardner as a work of fiction.
And Gerald Gardner came from a family of devout nudists.
A family of devout nudists? Where are you getting this from?
He favored sexual rituals. That's why they have them.
Are you purposely misrepresenting Wicca, or are you just this ignorant?
So you're looking at a smorgasbord of religion. It comprises every religion under the sun.
Not that it is, but what would be wrong with any religion that took various tidbits of wisdom from all the religions of the world?
So you have a choice. The teachings of men or the teachings of Jesus.
If you can prove to me that the Bible was not written by man, then we can have this discussion. But right now, I have not found any conclusive evidence that supports that the Bible was not written by man.
You see, the Bible is a book with one theme from beginning to end. It begins with a picture of paradise lost. It terminates with a picture of paradise regained.
It also has many contradictions in it. It has 6 accounts of incest, 7 accounts of rape, 16 of murder, human sacrifice, slavery, all of which are condoned by your God.
Now, who would you trust your eternal salvation to? A pagan or Jesus? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father except through me.
So this is the conclusion to exposing Satan's power, Wicca. And this was actually a pretty easy video to dispute because this person is obviously very misinformed. He only studied Wicca for 3 weeks, and all of his claims were really badly and poorly made. So, anyhow, this has been Logan. Thank you, and blessed be.